You guys know what it is.
Yeah. And is it? There we go. All right, Sophie, you're on.
Is anyone doing?
Not that I know of. Nope, doesn't look like it.
Alright.
Is it crooked?
I guess just let us know when somebody goes on or if somebody comes up. Hey,
Yes.
I'll get out of here.
I'll see what it does. Funny. And there's a tip in there.
Oh, what's up, Neon Dragon? Neon Dragon, you said?
Come on.
All right.
Let's kick it off.
Welcome. Yeah, you want to kick it off?
Yeah,
Kick it
I'll
off.
start us off.
Hey guys, welcome.
What's up? My name is Sophie.
Thanks guys.
Nothing but the highest production levels.
You're
Better known as Nerfers 101. Over here we have.
Nikki from New York Dark Zone.
And
Brian, phone from above.
so today we got a very special live stream planned for you guys. We're going to be unveiling and discussing all of the new blasters that we saw and were fortunately given samples of from New York Toy Fair.
All right. What do we want to kick it off with? I guess we'll start with the. Hey, Gabe, can you check the drone over there, please?
Yeah.
So we have a lot of brands that we got product samples from, including but not limited to, remind me if I forget any, Zing, Nerf of course, Buzzbee, Spitball Blasters.
You mentioned Dart Zone?
Of course.
Okay, we got Dart Zone. We have Zing. Oh, marshmallow shooters. Thanks a lot, Beaver. Appreciate it. And
CJ Garland, stoked to hear your thoughts. And Neon Dragon said, "I'd see the drone."
yeah, this is from. Actually, this is from HoverTech. They're a company, and they're actually a different name. Is hey Gabe, what's the name? Here you go. Let me see the box.
Alright, what I thought we do to start off is we're each going to go and explain very briefly what our favorite blasters that we saw were, and of course show them if we have them. Should I just start us off with you?
Alright. Alright, well, my favorite out of all the ones we saw this weekend definitely has to be this Overwatch new Nerf rival. I love it mostly because it's very girly and pink, and it comes with a very cute bunny charm. Yeah, I got to try it, fortunately at Hasbro, and I really like its performance, and yeah, it's very accurate as well.
So I already discussed a lot of the Nerf blasters I saw, so I'm going to do something a little different for me. I'm going to go off for talk about the Zing bow. What's the official name for this?
It's gonna be called the Hyper Straight.
Hyper Strike bow, and these are super fun. It's all about just energy, using these bungee cords, you pull back and it's so satisfying. I love these bows. Oh my god. The whistling, everything. It's so fun.
And oh my gosh, I have no idea which one. There was so much good stuff that I saw across all the brands. Nerf. If you'll allow me, I will say some of my favorites from each brand. Dart Zone every year, but just let me put it this way, in their development, the blasters are often not ready yet for show by Toy Fair, so we hear about them later in the year around summertime. So expect more updates from them. As it turns out, they have a few improvements. Nothing I can really comment on right now. Also, a lot of the stuff, including these bows and this blaster here in front of me, they are prototypes. A majority of the products that we saw at Toy Fair are prototypes. If they don't perform up to optimal performance, or if you have any questions how well they're firing, that's because these probably aren't ready yet for full production, and they will obviously be very different. So
Well, so a good example of that are these Zing bows. They're actually going to be coming in digital camo and like a carbon fiber type paint job on them. They're not going to be this plain orange. And they also have different and stronger bungees. So that's a perfect example of these just being prototypes. The real ones look super cool. We saw those up close and personal, and I love those paint jobs. So.
Yeah. And just to just to give the proper shout out to the company for this. Thanks to Top Secret Toys. Appreciate you guys for letting us have this, even though I think this was a little early too. But yeah, thanks to Top Secret Toys for providing this as well. As far as
we knew those were a bad idea. We knew that was a bad
It's okay.
idea.
Sorry, Busby. Luckily it's still in the box, right? So, as far as like some favorites went, Busby had some really good ideas with some of their pump actions. I forget what the exact names are. Like the Agitator is one, but you have to forgive me if I can't recall everything offhand, right off the top of my head. But Busby had some really good ideas with their pump action blasters. And I saw a comment shout out Pete, Fuzzy Pete. I saw you talking about you weren't sure about the length. I didn't notice the length of the barrels really getting too much in the way. And I mean, you can always flip the barrels up, especially for I think one of the mutators. But yeah, I like the way that those started to look, and I like the pump action coming out of them. I did make a mention that maybe there was a little too much bolt action. If you agree or disagree, just let me know. Obviously, that's a preference. But yeah, Busby was gonna be very careful. Busby was kind of aware that they might have done a little too much with the bolt action, but they're coming back strong with more pump action this year. The new drum. And for a lot of people who think that drum opens up from the front, and Gabe, you can comment on this too, because I believe you asked that, right?
Correct.
The drum will have to top load it. They only did that because it was an idea, and was it?
It didn't work out. It wasn't functional. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So the drum will still load from the top, and then.
Come on, that's no talking. Let's get to the basics. Let's show them what we're talking about.
Okay, what do we got up?
Well, what I just painfully opened a little bit there was the Ruckus ICS 8, which is already available in stores, but I have not personally gotten my hands on it yet. And yeah, it's pretty fun. It has this indexing clip that as you load, it indexes up. You can just put in the darts. I believe it holds, 8? Yeah, it's in the name. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Getting some pretty good performance out of it. And it loads from the top up here. But yeah, you guys, these are available in all retail stores as of right now. Nikki's opening up Overwatch blaster. I love the Overwatch products because they have different colored rival ball ammo based on which Overwatch blaster you're purchasing, and all of this ammo is very exclusive based on only the blaster. You only get a few as well. So yeah, we'll let her play with that. Why don't you start one else?
Hey Gabe, can you pass me the pistol over there, please? So this is one of the this is from Far Out. This is from Far Out Toys. This is these two blasters are the drum player blasters. Far Out is new, and so Far Out's new. I think there are some people who were in the toy industry before, or who have been in the toy industry for a while, and they've made these blasters. There are 3 stages of the blasters. I believe I saw one small one. You have the pistol here, and then you have this longer, bigger blaster. This one has 2 barrels that will shoot one after the other, so you have to prime and shoot. Like I said, this is a prototype. It was kind of not really shooting well by the end of the show, because after multiple countries and across multiple days, it doesn't work so well. But you've got this blaster here. The pistol still works, and it's comfortable. It's super comfortable. I believe the final version had a bit more silver on the paint. And just to kind of, because I've got a chrono, I plan ahead. I remember being pretty. That's 59 out of the 59.9 out of the chrono barrel, and then do it again. pretty consistent, still 59, and it's very ergonomic. I like the feel of it. I like the looks because of the muzzle here. So definitely one of my more favorite designs that I've seen at the show. And next,
I want to open spitball.
Someone asked, "What's your favorite blasters?" Everybody.
overall, or
Overall.
it's like asking my favorite kid. I wonder how it goes. Favorite
Nerf.
blaster.
I mean,
Man, you guys talk about this.
I always answer this question with two parts. Aesthetically, my favorite strike, and New York darts that have hooked me up with a barrel that I've wanted for the past 18 years, and I'm 18 years old, so that says a lot. It wasn't even out for 18 years. But my favorite blaster to use for functioning is actually going to be the Percy's, which was shown at New York Toy Fair this year. So
I have to agree with Sophie. I love the Percy's. It was so accurate, so strong for such a tiny blast. Exactly like the what's the name of the one? The Prometheus, but so much more compact and so much quicker. I feel a lot easier to hold and run around with. And I just love that one.
And then I'll you know what, I'll go with it. The Percy's was, I mean, when you hear those rounds start flying out and then you see it's coming out of a handheld unit like that, my only regret is that there was only one of them to use at a time, so you couldn't dual wield, which I'm sure would be a lot of fun. If I had to give an honorable mention as far as blasters go, at least from the show, the Megalodon. That one was surprisingly steady for a blaster that has slam fire and no stock. But remember, check that one out. I did like it a lot, and you got that. It launches and it primes with the top handle there, and then you can. It primes with the top handle. You can do. That's how you do slam fire. And for some reason, the slam fire from the handle like that really works well as far as stabilizing the blaster goes. Trying to think.
Click, Rev loves everything you guys are doing.
hey, thanks, man.
Thank you.
And someone just asked if you had the Zings axes here.
No, unfortunately, they would not.
I already broke it.
Those were all super prototyped, and as try as we might, give them some sad eyes and didn't work.
The Zaxxas were dropping like flies too. They're still in the prototype stage, and some people were, whipping them. So not.
Someone
It worked,
asked
though.
where this is being filmed.
New York Dart Zone, Holbrook, New York. Come check us out.
Long Island.
And someone asked if the trilogy was being shown.
It wasn't.
Answer this question.
It wasn't. I'm still waiting to hear a response from Nerf because we went into the showroom at 7:30 in the morning on the second day of Toy Fair. This was after the fan media night. We didn't see it. All of us went in together, and I looked at my old footage. It wasn't in the spot that's in that picture. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
So it wasn't there. I'm trying to figure out why the blaster was taken out. Sometimes it's removed for another media opportunity. Sometimes it might have not made it out of fan media appreciation night. It was only there for the picture, for the purposes of the photo. So for whatever reason, we just didn't get to look at it, unfortunately. I wish we could have told you more, and I'm hoping to get more information from Nerf. And once we do, we'll let you all know, either here or on Sophie's channel or wherever.
Yeah, I'm sure. But something we did want to talk about was there are a lot of blasters that focus in shooting these good old darts. I swear there's thousands of different types of the same idea. So I wanted to focus a little bit on some brands that are doing things a little bit different. And I appreciate people who are being different and trying new things. My personal favorite being spitball blasters for non-Nerf ammunition. And if you couldn't guess, they fire spitballs. Of course, these do not have to be literal spitballs. They provide you with little cotton pellets, add water, and it gives you the same effect as a spitball without the growiness. And I love this blaster for quite a few reasons. My favorite being, can I shoot the wall with this spitball? My favorite being this part. You can't see it, but
It ejects a plastic casing,
so
which simulates a cartridge.
Yeah, so you put your spitball into the plastic casing, load it up, and then fire it. When you pull back, it actually ejects the shell. And I love this type of function. Of course, it is borderlining on, actually representing a real firearm, but I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. Of course, it's a lot of work to load up, so it's much more just for fun than for actual practical situations.
And then one of the little touches, and for those who might notice, what they told me is the stock can actually be used with other Nerf stocks. So if you buy this and you have a favorite one, I know I like the Electroshock one, or one of the Super Soaker ones. I think it's the Electroshock, right? That one in particular, I like that one a lot. I would put that on the back of this. The stock attach point is the same. And you also, when you run out of the included ammo, or if you have to use some other paper in a pinch, you can also use the included mold. So you're kind of got that ammo smithing kind of experience with the paper, and then you also can load up your own cartridges. And then all you gotta do is worry about just getting your shells. The version we have here actually is the shells are colored green, but in other models they're bright orange, so they'll be easier to find. But yeah, spitball blasters, just for a little background, they've been working on this for 4 years. This is probably the best incarnation of it I've seen. I applaud them for it.
Next question: are any of you going to be in Texas?
I will be. I'm going to be one of the 3 special guests there. Super stoked. Are you going to be there? That's my question.
No.
Another question, or I just want to give a live firing demo of this where you can actually see it. I love that feature. I love the ejecting the like that. Super fun. This is Spitball Blaster, and as I said, it's pretty comfortable as well. Feels nice in my hand, and I would literally do that all day, ejecting this. So, what are you doing over here?
Trying to get this bulldog all set up. The one feature I love about this is the fact that it is so. You can change it if you want to against your shoulder. If you want it to be a little bit more compact and you can run around with it. I also love that it has the dark storage on the side. I'm trying to get that set up now for you guys, but I will fire it.
Can you tell us about the X-Shot Digiline, or are they just reskins?
About the X-Shot, which one?
Ninja Line.
Oh, they're reskins.
Yeah. I will say there were a few additional accessories. I think there was an ammo holder I hadn't seen before.
And ninja bandanas and ninja swag as well.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of ninja, so.
I don't remember if they mentioned well, I don't think they told us prices. That might be on the press kits, which we haven't actually got to yet. It's been a long 4 days. But once we have pricing info and everything, just check with us on your favorite sources. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that was. I don't know if that was going to be an increase in price or anything.
Let's talk about this bad boy.
So
You talk, I let it straight.
all right. So now, one thing that I've always wanted to. You might recognize this. I don't know. I think this is out of Walmart too. But anyway, Dark Zone or Adventure Force, depending on where you found this blaster. What is that one? The Quantum or the Velocity?
Velocity.
Velocity. It's their version of the. Wait a minute.
While he's
Oh yeah.
investigating, I really like this blaster because it has the hopper on the top.
It's got an accelerator trigger.
Yeah.
That's new. They hadn't been doing the accelerator triggers. I think I just popped my chips. Sorry, guys. But anyway, go ahead. Were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, I like this one a lot. I like the way it looks, and I like the hopper on top.
Yeah, and don't forget you've got cross compatibility with Nerf rival rounds. This will, last I heard, will accept the Nerf battery pack, and yeah. They listen to feedback from the fans because they used to have that always on trigger where you had to turn it on, and then if you didn't want to be heard while you were coming around the corner, you had to turn it off. But anyways, so you now have accelerator triggers with the blasters. And it turns out that this has been around for a while. Sorry, but yeah. If you ever see these are under Adventure Force, and you keep in mind the Adventure Force blasters are blasters produced by actual companies like Dark Zone, and don't be afraid of the quality, because Dart Zone blasters they fire on par or even better in some cases. Like I made a Dart Zone blaster that shot 144 feet angled. It was pretty crazy. Never even seen that out of the stock Nerf blaster. But yeah, just keep that in mind. That don't be afraid of the third-party blasters, because those are still of mass market quality, and they're made by actual companies. It's not just some kind of flashy
I
thing.
look like an idiot.
Do we have one that lights up?
Yeah, a few of these light up and stuff. That's why I was banging it.
The arrows?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a.
Oh.
Oh, the battery's dead on this one.
Yeah.
That's what you get for 4 days.
Whoop, whoop. So yeah, some of these arrows have that light up feature. I love this book. I love this book. What are we looking at next? Oh, you hear that? That's the sound of victory.
Did you play with the D dart?
The D-Dart, yeah, we did. Tried to get a sample.
We got a
for
bone to
this.
pick with them.
We did try to get a sample, but they, as it turns out, and well within reason, if a product isn't quite ready. In fact, we have to return these back to Far Out. They were, again, big. They didn't have to let us take these. They did. Big thank you to Far Out Toys for letting us take the Gunslayers. But we tried to get some from D-Dart. They didn't want to. They didn't want to give us some, and then by the time they were actually leaving it up in the air, we were leaving the convention center because we had to get started for this, and then they contacted us after we'd already left.
But you did use it. Why don't you talk about?
Oh, you're right. I did use it. It's 4 AAA batteries, and there's an always-on switch. It did fire a little slow, I thought, because it would go like zoo, 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 zoo,
Oh, shoot.
and it seemed a little slow, which was to be expected with 4 AAAs. But the turret rotated fine. It was 30 shots. It was 30 shots to rotate, and the rotating and the pusher arm were in sync. I would say that it looked. I think I got low 50s out of the FPS.
Low
'Cause I did run it through the chrono barrel here. In fact, I brought this along, so I did get some FPS readings. It was in the low 50s, and I don't know how much of that could be attributed to batteries, but you already can kind of expect it to go underpowered. Reloading was kind of a pain because when the turret moves, it didn't feel like you could actually kind of force move it also to kind of get to the empty chambers. So the chambers that you could fill in were the only ones that weren't hidden behind the actual flywheel ejection area. Still, though, it was compact. Dual wielding did look pretty hilarious with it. They'll be ready by April, I believe they said. So hopefully we'll see some production models by then. If they're watching, we'll catch you next time. No. I do want to apologize to Marshmallow in advance for if I'm doing this wrong.
Are the batteries
You
in
know,
the handle, and is there room for lipos?
There's definitely not room for in the D-Dart. Oh, that's right. It is a wrist guard. The batteries were. I believe the batteries are in the handle. And as far as room for lipos,
Well, I gotta talk about it.
you might have to make honestly, you might have to create a housing or mount it on there somewhere, because every bit of real estate was pretty much a necessary part. There wasn't a lot of dead space, I don't think. You definitely have to mount an extra a different type of battery on there if you want to do anything. That's my initial take on it. I mean, if you want to ask once we actually have the production models, that's something else entirely, and we can try that then.
So yeah, moving on, we got this from Marshmallow Fun Company. Do you remember the exact name of this, or?
No, I think it was just it was a launcher.
Yeah, it's a launcher.
It's a ball launcher.
Well, it can also fire large marshmallows as well, but you can use it to have a war with marshmallows or play fetch with your doggo. if I do it right.
They did have some other like larger foam ball ammo.
It's called a sling bow.
Sling bow.
Sling bow. Thank you. Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
mysterious
It's a classic.
man.
From Walmart.
There we go. Yay!
Fetch game.
And you know we've had a long 4 days, so by all means, if we're driving you nuts a little bit with some of our naming, and just let us know.
Yeah, but this one's quite fun. It's pretty simple. I assume it's gonna be what? Pretty cheap, right?
It must be. I'm not sure where Marshmallow's being sold now. Probably online.
I would love to just
Rivals.
wham someone with a big marshmallow.
Put a bunch of rivals in there.
Rivals, yeah.
Let's see what else have we got around here.
Where's the other marshmallow blast?
Oh, no, that one just shoots. That one shoots the tennis ball actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because this one is the actual dog toy launcher. Where are the scissors?
Yeah, so we were excited. I was personally excited to see marshmallow shooters going into the dog range as well, which is what Brian is opening up. And I have a dog. He's pretty lazy, so he's probably not the best one to be using these toys. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You get to incorporate some blasting into your daily activities. Do the honor. Oh, you pump it?
Yeah.
You gotta pump it first, and then it'll.
That's fancy. Yeah, this is called the Doggone Ball Blaster. I'm a fan.
Shout out to Rocky the Rescue Dog, where I won my first one.
I like this.
Okay, Gabe, we're gonna need your help to do this. Okay, so this is from Top Secret Toys. It's part of a larger kit. It's their version of a drone shooting play pattern. And
This is
actually,
my second favorite thing at Toy Fair.
and actually, we've got the targets. Actually, Gabe, we're gonna have to set up the targets too for those. But let's do this first. So we're gonna set this up. Here, Gabe. Just take this. We'll do this one first. So this is from Top Secret Toys, and then you just turn this on. I've already charged it for a little bit. Then I think you have to start it. There we go. And then we're gonna.
Oh my god!
It does sense the ceiling. It has a ceiling sensor on it. So what we do now is we open fire.
Got it.
Wow.
That was me!
That makes up for the drone not having good hang time at the fair.
I'm stoked right now.
This time you did it live.
I just did that.
That was really cool.
Nurseries 101!
So that's really cool that we were able to just kind of set it up just now.
Yeah, and you can see, but once it gets about, I would say, 6 inches before it hits the ceiling, it does stop going up. So that's pretty exceptionally exciting.
That was really cool. Big shout out to Top Secret. Whoa! Away, friend! Away!
Didn't do that before.
Oh my god!
Guys, it doesn't touch the ceiling this time. Oh!
Woo!
There we go.
Alright.
So yeah, it just...
Yeah, anxiety.
it wanted to prove me wrong, and that was all it was.
Still though, really impressive. Top Secret toy. What was your coolest stunt shot? Here we go.
Regular for you too?
Yeah, I'll take regular. I'll take pepperoni. Okay. Alright, and we're back on.
Hey guys,
I know what happened to everybody. Okay. So, hey, we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Got angry.
Oh,
The
we're
Nerf
not-
gods got angry. There's not enough Nerf being shown.
So, let's see. Oh, yeah, let me get the targets from...
This has now turned into an unboxing channel. You know. I'm gonna be opening Tracer. I'm gonna make the joke again. The TikTok. Maybe I'll be Tracer.
Okay, so...
Someone out there knows what I'm talking about.
What we've got here is a number of targets that go with the Drone Slayer sets. Because story Drone Slayer is drones have taken over the world, and it's up to you to blast them. So
It's up to you, only you.
only you. Oh, sorry, I'm old. So you have. There's also drone kits to these. Since those are still prototype, we left those behind. I took the Landwalker instead, which is I believe this is the ground assault kit. Don't quote me on that. And then foamfromabove.com has pricing, and then it just kind of walks.
Look at that. It's like that thing from Star Wars, the scary thing.
So what you do is
Ewok. No, not Ewok.
you shoot these. Oops.
No, I'm a huge fan of these. They all do something cool when you hit them. They're not just chilling.
So you'll shoot these and.
Why are you opening it from the bottom?
Oh. If you'll see. And I'll even just demo it like this. Here, we'll use this blaster. We'll use these darts. Get my drink out of the way.
That's okay, I want it.
So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna 4 days at Toy Fair, and I think I broke Sophie on the first day when I made her walk.
No! No, man. Alright, we're gonna try this with some. Oh, wow, thank you, mystery man.
So you guys go ahead, and then if you want to chime in on anything.
Wait, I want to try to.
Oh my god, I
I want
can't.
to try to fire some rivals with this. It works with rivals! I got rivals.
Not rivals.
It works with them, but it's kind of hard to get them all to stay in, but. Yo, that's sick! Oh my god, 6 rivals at a time.
It's pandemonium in here. That's okay though. Why? Because we've been around toys for 4 days. Come on. Seriously? And a blue. Nope, I'm out.
So what he's trying to demonstrate here is if you hit it in the exact perfect spot, which is what I just did by holding it, the pieces will pop off, so it's very reactive, and essentially explodes when you hit it in the red spot right here. And I appreciate that. It's a fun feature. Here's its head.
Don't mind me.
Talk about something. I'm dying.
Okay. Gabe, how much is we still only got one person tuning in?
4 people,
4
2
people.
likes.
Thanks, guys. So, let's see. As far as Nerf goes, the Nerf Titan took batteries. It was heavy, spinning barrel for anyone who didn't know, and the double drum was pretty cool. I didn't experience any jams, considering how much of a prototype it still was. I was pretty impressed that it didn't jam at all. And let's see, what else was on that wall? The Percy's was pretty cool. We already said that. The Fortnite blast.
Oh, let's talk about him!
Go ahead. Or do you have anything? Do you want to start off with anything, or?
Let me just say something right off the bat here. I'm a little tired. I'm not good at names to begin with, let alone names of blasters, so I'm gonna script the names, so I'm just gonna point film from above and he's gonna help me out. But so the big one. No.
The ARL.
ARL, yep. It was super quiet, super light, a lot of fun to use. It's definitely made for, a younger demographic, which I appreciate because that means that you can use it for a while and you won't get fatigued in your arms or anything like that. Whereas like a Prometheus, for example, you're gonna get tired. You're gonna feel that weight after a while. And the ARL is super light. Any thoughts?
I really liked it. I shot it at Hasbro, and it was very accurate. like she said, it was very light, easy to carry around, easy to maneuver and figure it out. I figured it out on the first shot, and yeah, cannot say.
And then the smaller one.
I think it was the DL something,
Yeah, it's
DL44.
silent deal or something. On the down low. That one's also fun. It's essentially an Elite Dart Magnus, and I love the Magnus. I'm a sucker for the Magnus. It has a Nerf version of a silencer barrel on the front of it. It's a lot of fun to use. It just loads from the top. It's identical to the Magnus, except the darts that it fires. It's also made to be quiet, and it effectively does that, in my opinion.
Don't forget about the Easter egg, the llama.
Oh, the llama!
Was it really an Easter egg?
Where was that llama?
That llama was on the, what was it? On the cartridge, right? Magazine
Clip.
The Neon Dragon said the ARL and the Revoltonator seem very similar.
You'd be right.
Shooting wise, they're identical.
The pistol is the SPL, by the way.
Oh,
Thank you. We've all
We're
got
only the
press
ones that
information.
held them and got the press release. It's fine. Let's be honest with the Revoltonator. It's gimmicky. It's made for. I can appreciate that, but I'm not personally that excited about it.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, it glows and makes sounds, which is essentially the opposite of what I want my blaster to be doing in a
Exactly.
You
practical
really need that
situation. Yeah, you want to stay in the DL. Yeah.
I really thought they were going to make a
Also-
feature that you could turn the sounds off and all the lights and stuff, but I believe I heard that before, but once we saw it, they said that you couldn't.
You know, that's because it's battery operated, so you need batteries for it to fire. So it goes together. The cool thing about it though is every time you press the accelerating trigger, it changes the pattern of lights and sounds.
Yeah.
So there's two different patterns. It's a cool sentiment, I guess.
That was there's so many different ways that you can kind of cook a hamburger, I guess, for lack of a better metaphor. We've seen lights and sounds before. It's really interesting that Nerf decided to go with that play pattern for the Revoltonator, and I would say it's a very sleek and streamlined design.
But so something that I like about it I'm majoring in marketing in college. The Zombie Strike storyline is incredibly intricate and detailed, and the Revoltonator is essentially that these kids who are the lone survivors in the zombie apocalypse are getting upgrades, and they're getting better and better as they're developing. So in this case, they're actually starting to add technology into their blasters. That's why you have like the nail biter, which looks very similar to a nail gun. They're supposed to replicate real life items and be like a comically apocalyptic blaster line.
And
Drop the mic there.
well, the lights and sounds, I like it too. In fact, it's funny because when the Rev Reaper first came out, I kind of asked if anyone who's seen old birthday toys. There was an old Sparky toy blaster that you could pull the trigger, you'd rev it up, and it would spark. And the Rev Reaper reminded me of that. So now to see the Revoltonator with a certain kind of light up feature, kind of makes me wonder, oh, okay, so they couldn't really do the sparks because of safety issues, but hey, here we've got a nail biter. So, but it's empty. I do apologize to anyone from a brand for using other ammo, but it's what we got.
We got a whole it's like a crock pot in here.
We really do. And I mean, that's part of the whole thing we're doing this because, yes, some of us have our brand loyalties. Yes, we've got certain brands that we do like to go to overall. But it's a way bigger world out there, and once in a while, you will see something from another brand that makes you go, "Holy cow, that was really good." I'm glad someone asked about the Zax because if I had to give an award of like my favorite item from Toy Fair, it's not a blaster, and I hate to say it, but Zing for years I called the dark horse of launching toys, and to have the Zax, those were so much fun to grow. Got such a kick out of it. So definitely one of my favorite items.
Yeah, and something I just want to add to that, especially for me, who I really, really do just specialize in Nerf, I don't feel like comfortably I can adequately review and use Nerf blasters without comparing them to other competitors. Because if you have that tunnel vision and you only look and focus on one thing, you could be giving it a really great review when someone else is doing something even more innovative that makes it a little bit less desirable, I would say.
No drones are getting your mom pizza. Oh, sorry, I had to be thematic. But no, it's a really good point because it's one thing when you have Nerf, and love you guys at Nerf, but the pricing was a little bit, it hurt my wallet a little bit as I get older. Can't really afford stuff like I used to, and to have like some competition in pricing, that helps me have at least the same kind of replay value, even if it does cost me a little bit in other areas. Now there was something that I heard, and I can't really go into it, but it's a very interesting take on how driving prices down and all that. But one thing I think we all agreed on is with Zuru
Don't put words in my mouth.
getting into the blaster, into like high impact rounds. It's going to be very interesting to see everybody now going all in the same market. It's going to be very interesting. And I'll speak a bit about the Zuru blasters. So you had the Orbit and the Meteor. Both were way under the prices of Rival right now, and way under the prices of a lot of the other round ammo, 100 FPS range that we're seeing nowadays. The impressive thing about it was, okay, so Meteor and the Orbit, that's what they were both called. The Orbit was the rifle one in some versions. The Orbit was 24 shots for $20. You had the Meteor for 12 shots, which is already which is more than a Chronos, for I think it was $12.99, right?
$12.99 for the 12 shot.
And then I believe I didn't get a price on the ammo packages, but I guarantee it's probably going to be lesser than what we're seeing right now from anywhere else mass market. It was really interesting to see that Zuru X-Shot. I keep calling. I knew him as Zuru before X-Shot came around. It's interesting to see that X-Shot is entering this space now, and then on top of that, they also had a laser tag thing, and then but the main focus was the party thing, the party balloons. I will say this though, I didn't notice, besides the Ninja recolors, I didn't notice anything new outside of, I was aiming for the camera, sorry. I didn't notice anything new outside of the Turbo Fire being released for X-Shot. So don't expect too much else as far as just dart blasters there go. We're going to be seeing most of the focus for this year went to the X-Shot Chaos line, so they said. And we're just gonna get the Chaos in fall, which will probably be around late spring probably, and we'll just see how everything goes. I will say this about the X-Shot Chaos ammo: it does feel a little bit lighter. We agree on that. That it does feel a little bit lighter than the other ammo. So it's we'll see how all that goes. But
any comments?
Yeah.
None.
All right, guys, ask us questions while we're blabbering on here.
Yeah.
Come on, start us off. We're gonna transition to Busby a little bit here.
Yeah, especially
Should we start with the
Since we have like a whole
Hey Busby team, thanks a lot for all the support. And I mean that from without any sarcasm at all. Big deal. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys.
Alright, so we'll get into this figure right here. Here we have the Mutator. They were nice enough to let us have this one.
times 2. We got 2 of them.
Yeah.
4.
Actually 4.
I love this one so much
4.
because you can literally load up your 2 clips, and then if you run out, it saves you so much time because it's so easy to switch. Let's get it unboxed here so we can demonstrate it for you guys.
Busby legitimately gave us
A lot of support.
at least 20 blasters.
Yeah.
more support. I don't know what I have to say.
We get this open.
Sorry, Nikki's having some trouble.
So sorry, guys. Can we get in there?
She says that she wears a Nerf shirt.
About what? Hey, I'm wearing a Nerf shirt. I'm loyal to Nerf. I'm loyal to Nerf. Busby, Smusby.
Love you, Busby.
We should have a Nerf war after. I'll represent Nerf. Oh, we should have a Nerf war. We should have a blaster war. I'll be Nerf, you be Busby, you be.
You know, I was gonna say, wait, we don't.
You be what?
I guess I'll play Zing or
Yeah, he uses Zing bow.
maybe I'll use the dog shooter, or the dog ball shooter, not the dog ball shooter.
What happened, Gabe?
Actually, can you think we didn't get a. The zero samples were on the way, but I guess they never made it.
Where can you buzz be? Because I really want an exact attack and I don't know where to get one.
What's that?
Where can you buzz be? I guess where can you get a buzz be? Because he would like an exact attack.
You're gonna have best chances at this point is Walmart. Look at the Adventure Force line. Maybe you'll find. I think that's what it's called under Adventure Force too. So yeah, you're just gonna have to look at Adventure Force to see where it's sold at this point.
Alright guys, I want to show you this really quick. This is so cool. These two clips right here, they both go in. But if you want to switch, all you have to do is right here.
Yeah.
Well, I think you gotta pull back the bolt first.
There you go. Push
And
this
then-
in.
There.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
So all you have to do is pull this out right here, and it switches. It saves you so much time. It's really good for like the Nerf battles we have here because we're always stuck reloading over and over and over again. And this you could just load up. You're good for a little bit. This is definitely one of my favorites from BuzzFeed that we saw this weekend.
Travis says hello.
Hello,
Hey, Travis.
And Leon wishes that was a pump.
A pump? Yeah, I kind of agree.
Don't worry though. There's more pump action from BuzzFeed coming on the way. They do recognize the love there.
Yeah.
I'm a big bolt action fan myself, but I even agree with that as well. In this particular blaster, I think the bolts gets in the way of the.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, pump would have been perfect right up here.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Crisp.
Okay. Let's see.
I like the idea behind that though. That's pretty original. Haven't seen something like that on the market yet.
I do apologize if we're going a little bit back and forth between everything here, but yeah, I don't think we went over the full features on the Hyperstrike, did we?
I
Okay,
just said it was really cool.
it is really cool, and this is well. Wait, there's more. So what we got here is with the Hyperstrike, there are some other. Look, you can't really see it here, but there's some little spots here where they're planning on stuff to put here in order to enhance your play experience with the bow.
Thank you.
Can't really say what. At least I don't think so. But also, what you can do is you will have the ability to swap out the tubing, or if you really want to add more, but we can't condone that. You can probably put more in. But yeah, so the tubing is replaceable because I have some of the original Zing Z-curve bows, which did experience dry rot, and that's because things get old. There's time span for everything. But should you need to replace these, you definitely can. And that's a really cool feature. And then on top of that, and this is something I brought up during a discussion with Zing, was the ability to break down and easily pack your bow. And some of these it's easier than others. And then let's see if
These are prototypes.
yeah, there we go. See, oh there it is. So you can easily just pop these off, and then these will slide off, and then next thing you know, you're able to easily store and pack away your bow for the next time you need it. And then
Fit into any backpack.
exactly, and then when you want to use it again, you just kind of slide that on. I'm getting this right.
Yeah, you just slide it back.
There
Oh,
we go.
fancy. And these are made to be ambidextrous, so you can use it if you're left-handed, or if you're right-handed, or if you're both, or if you're neither. You can't.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
If you're neither, you can't.
And here is the.
Wolf!
But here's the big thing about why the Hyper Strike even came to be, and I got it written up on Foam from Above to some degree. They are doing player versus player with these. They recognize the need for like archery tag, and people have been playing that. So with this line, the bow is a bit longer, or the bungees are a bit longer. If I recall, they'll probably correct me if I'm wrong. But the bungees are a bit longer to allow still getting the same distance, but yeah, the impact is going to be a little different, and the biggest change is going to be in the arrowheads. Those are still in early development, but the tips of the arrows are going to be a lot softer as well, in order to allow for easier impact. But these are going to be intended explicitly for player versus player. So it's not just target shooting anymore. Zing is going forward with an active team gameplay right here, which you might have seen before, but with those other bows, it was a little bit, they weren't big fans of that happening. So here you are, modern tech, with a new take on the bows, and it's great. I appreciate seeing them back in making archery stuff.
The bows are just honestly wicked fun to use. Wicked fun to use. Like my wicked there. No, but they're wicked fun to use, and they got some good. They got great ranges, great power, and still just like any other toy blaster out there, they do not, physically wound anyone. So it's pretty nice. We just quickly opened up a few of the Overwatch micro shots over here. I don't know anything about Overwatch. Do you know anything about Overwatch?
Not really.
I know a few things. Why? What do you need to know?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know anything about Overwatch.
Okay, you got Tracer's blaster here.
Maybe I'll be tracing.
A smaller version of it. Then you got Torbjorn here. Looks like I think he has a tool gun, right? Sorry if I'm getting this wrong for anybody. I don't think I saw a second wave. Or maybe there was a second wave of Overwatch. They had a whole wall of Overwatch blasters. So I kind of glazed over that because I was looking at other blasters, and there's going to be a clear version of the dog ball launcher, which is kind of cool too. And I saw in the showroom there was the Genji mask, which was really cool, and it was actually wide enough to fit my own face. And there was a Tracer mask with removable hair, so you could just take it down to the goggles, which also is really cool. So there's some nice role play items. They've got the action figures coming out; those look really neat. It sounded like they're still going to go forward with more rival blasters. It's just a matter of what they're going to do. And for anyone who doesn't know, you've got the Reaper kit, but the Reaper blasters will also be sold separately. You have the Diva blaster, McCree, and as far as feedback on the McCree went, they do recognize that there was a desire to see multiple shots come out of the McCree revolver, but it was a call between matching the aesthetics from the game or a different functionality. So just kind of keep that in mind. Personally, I liked the McCree badge the most out of the kit. I was a little disappointed with you guys about it only having a single shot, but I understood why. And as far as the Diva blaster goes, it's nice. It's got a nice pop to it. The Reaper pistols I haven't had, or the Reaper shotgun blasters I haven't had much use going with. They look really cool though, and that's kind of the important piece for cosplay and all that.
I second that. It's just like Fortnite. It's just like any of their other licensed blasters. They look really cool, but they still have that nerf performance.
Neon Dragon said he heard the increased performance. Is that true?
On
I'm guessing the mutator. They had the different style darts.
yeah, they're
Precision, accuracy, long distance.
yeah. I mean, increased performance in range and power.
Zing bows, I'm sorry.
Zimbos!
The performance on the Zingos is pretty much the same.
Hyper strength bow.
The Zingos are still going to get 250 plus feet, even more if you angle it. So
Here's the thing, it's all about you. If I do like a Nikki pullback, my arrow's not going to go very far. But if I do, a full flip, as far back as it can go, it's obviously going to go further. And technically, you could always change these bungees to something stronger.
not that they condone any of that whatsoever.
Zing, don't sue me. Also, don't do that. But you could. Theoretically. Hypothetically.
This is cool. Just throwing that out there again. Let's see, we've got some Dark Zone here.
I'm just gonna say something. There's a lot of duplicates at Toy Fair this year as far as functioning blasters go. Like brands were copying other brands and things like that. So yeah, I was refreshed to see some other unique blasters coming out of it, such as Bolt Actioner, the Mutator, which changes the mags. I've never seen something quite like that, or something like this that ejects the rounds or shoots spitballs in general. And of course, Nerf's always the best, so Nerf is in here.
As long as I got this out here, whoever doesn't know about these yet, these are actually really cool. It's the Adventure Force Command Fire, but it's also made by Dark Zone. It is made by Dark Zone, and actually, Gabe, I can do this here. Can you grab me a can out of the fridge, please? For anyone who
Give me a
didn't
Pepsi too.
For anyone who didn't see this before, okay, so first off, the actual dart blasting kind of deal. This is their own take on a self-loading blaster by you can put the ammo here and then kind of gravity puts darts into the blaster itself. But now I'll tell you why. This was probably one of the maybe most unintended uses of a blaster that I've ever seen. So they say you can store your darts in there. I say thee nay. No, what you do is, it fits just enough to stay refreshed in the middle of a game. So, if I'm shooting something behind cover and I'm camped out, guess what? I've got something to drink on the way. But yeah, I don't know if that was intended either, but hey, sometimes it's not about what it's intended, but what we can actually do with its stock. Anyways, that's my little thing about this. But yeah, the Command Fire, if you can get it, definitely check it out. It was really cool. And you can always never stay thirsty, my friends.
Neon Dragon asked the question, probably through you, Sophie. Are the 50th anniversary darts at Toy Fair exclusive?
No, they're not. They're also going to be at Jared's Epic Nerf Battle number 4 at March at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas. I highly doubt they will be available for retail or anywhere else, but of course you can always get them reselled. And what did you think about those 50th anniversary darts?
I thought they were really cool. I kept them in the package, so I'm going to hold on to them, and maybe they'll be worth something in a few years, but...
In 50?
Yeah, 50 more years, 100th anniversary.
And Neon Dragon also said the soda will shake and explode so much from being
Not if it's tea.
shaken.
Not if it's fruit juice or tea. I had Jumi. Gabe, you know Jumex, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a can of Jumex in there and I ran around with it. Did not explode.
That is a good point, though. That nice observation. Over that one.
Good, because Buff Daddy is shipping me a pack of darts, Neon Dragon said.
Cool story, bro.
Who's Buff Daddy?
That's Blaster Hub.
you sure about that?
Why would he
Oh,
do
yeah.
so last time?
I don't think so.
That's Brian Hoffer. Oh, sorry. Dock somebody. My bad. All 7 of you, right? So anyway, we were there. Okay, so let's see. The way I do it, my first day at Toy Fair, I pretty much spend doing all the blaster brands possible. Nerf doesn't do theirs doesn't open their showroom up to press, which is until day 2. And then day 3 is usually when Busby has for the last couple of years had their little updating brunch for Toy Fair. So coming here, you're already looking at about 3 days if you want to cover everybody. And then this still isn't representative of everybody that was there. This is just a majority of everyone who we forged relationships with over the years. If you know NXT and like NXT Generation crossbows and whatnot, they're there, but couldn't get a sample from them. And
I rode a scooter.
That's right. Who the scooter came from?
Both them.
That was ready for production, right?
Yeah, it's what was it, Fly House or something?
Fly away.
It was not Fly Away.
Fairview and
We'll get
Yeah.
to it.
But yeah, I'm gonna be hopefully receiving one of those in the mail. It's pretty sick. It's basically what do we say, a rhino fire built into a scooter. You press the button, bing, 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 bing. And it was really funny. She's like, just shoot it that way. And I'm like, I don't want to hit people. She's like, you won't shoot it into the wall. And like, I guess I forgot that there's 2 different barrels because I hit like 5 different people. And this little kid was like wearing a Supreme hat, and he got really mad at me. He walked by. I was like, sorry.
The company's called Flybar.
Fly bar. What did you think of the scooter? You were also on it.
I loved it. I was a little nervous at first because it was really short, but I did realize that there is a function you can adjust the height. So for
I
any
didn't know that.
other tall people out there like me, you are not in trouble if you go and get it. You can definitely adjust it for your height or anything else.
But more importantly, do you need tactical training in order to ride the
Might.
scooter? Because I don't know.
Might.
Combat training.
Combat training.
Combat training.
Inside joke.
Why don't we all give one memory from Toy Fair? I mean, it was both of our first Toy Fair ever, so.
My favorite memory was singing karaoke with you guys in the G-Wagon. That was awesome. I've never been in a G-Wagon in my entire life.
And you
I
were
was
the driver?
so scared. Yeah, I was in the driver's seat, and I don't know. I was so scared if I even touched anything, I would mess up the car. It was in perfect condition. It was a beautiful car, but we sang "Eye of the Tiger."
Dun.
Brian has an amazing voice. We all found out.
Yeah, we learned something.
What?
Yes, we all said.
Oh,
you have an
guys.
amazing voice.
Maybe I can start a new YouTube channel.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a college student at a business school, so just the networking opportunities and seeing this industry that I hope to be a huge part of in the future, and seeing how monumentally large it is, and how much money is put into it every year at this toy fair, and a majority of other toy fairs around the world. It was just super exciting, and it makes me super hopeful for the future for a lot of up and coming toy brands. And yeah, it's a really, really magical event.
To kind of go off of that, I'll admit, my last couple toy fairs have
Not
been.
even worse.
I don't know what it was about this one in particular. Maybe it's because I finally, I've had help before, but maybe it was actually having a group who knows toys and knows kind of the back end of the business like I do, and it's not just me throwing somebody along who kind of has to deal with all the jargon, but they have people that actually know the jargon and know the terms. It made a little bit of a difference going to my appointments. It made a bit of a difference made a bit of a difference going to the appointments. It made a bit of a difference to just in general. And then I would say, I don't know, it's something different about me walking around after hitting the blaster beat for about 8 years. Because for anyone new to the channel or is just tuning in this for the first time, I started going to Toy Fair in 2011. So it's been a long, long time, and if you're wondering, like, why am I only hearing about you now? It's, well, I know, a variety of reasons. But anyways, it's something very different about this year. The energy was definitely there, and I enjoyed walking the floor and it was nice seeing people that I've seen for 8 years in a multitude of ways. It was great. Just that in general, it was a nice memory entirely. And shout out to my wife and kid who are back home. Daddy will be back hopefully tomorrow. My plane got canceled, so we'll see.
Say daddy, even though it's like the proper time to say that.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, right?
That's adorable though.
It's strange.
Shout out to my baby Jasper, the dog. Stay strong. He's
But,
got separation anxiety, I know it.
Just bring him a dog toy, it'll be fine.
No, he won't.
Yeah, bring him this.
He's lazy! That's not why I fetch! I'm trying to tell you guys, he's a fat golden retriever. Who do you want to shout out?
Me, I will shout out my siblings back at home. I got some cool goodies to bring back to them yesterday, and they were so excited, and they were so upset that they couldn't make it there to be with us, but, you know. Yeah, so it's finally over, and I get to go home and see them.
It's
very
finally
happy.
over.
No, it was a very good experience. It wasn't like it was just very tiring.
These are the spitball ammunition, and we're expanding them in the cup, and you almost drank
Yeah, I almost
multiple
drank the cup multiple times.
I was dying laughing.
This year, but
You pretty much out of the spitball blasters, any paper will work. But definitely use water. Don't use saliva because
Why, you could.
if you're using
Unless you're
newspaper
trying
though,
to
I mean,
get back at
it's a
someone.
little.
You could-
I don't have a sample of this here either, but Jack Specific, they've got another model of their toilet paper blasters coming out. I think it was called the Sheet Storm, and it'll be out later. Yeah, everyone, yeah, I know. And I think that's coming out later this year also. So that line's still coming out, and
You guys
I'm trying to think what else was. If there's anything else that I saw.
Do you want some of the
Not a lot of role play items. At least as far as like hand-to-hand combat goes. So didn't see a lot of axes, not a lot of swords, or not a lot of shields. As far as play patterns go, it looks, if I had to say any kind of trend or whatever to expect over the next year, I'd say I've already seen like 2 different types of drone sets, maybe 3, but I don't have a sample of one of them here. So expect more of that. And let's see.
No instructions with this one? Or I guess it's...
Sorry.
I know, but I keep the instructions.
The box is actually a really cool part of that on the back.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's
Well, Zombie Strike marketing team, shout out to you. I love the marketing.
Yeah. On the back, it actually has a little Easter egg if you look very closely.
What is the Easter
Is that another Easter egg?
Yeah, so it has the quadrant up there, and then we have this Gravenger. So just pretty much everything from the Zombie Strike line, just hidden in the background of this. If you wanna just like come a little bit. It's really cool. I don't know. I love the aesthetic of it. That's mostly what I love about the Zombie Strike line. And yeah.
I sat in and out. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I think they do a really good job of putting all the little tiny pieces and everything on here.
I sat in at a panel discussion at HasCon, and it's really intriguing how they market the Zombie Strike line because they want it to be scary but not too scary. So
Yeah.
Neon Dragon asks, "What's the green minigun? Is that from
This
Dart
one?
Zone?"
Yeah, this is Dart Zone. I am so sorry that I forget the name of it right off the
green
bat.
minigun.
Sure, we'll go with that. Let's see. We do. It's
Exactly like the
loud.
Holy guacamole!
Some you guys let me know if whether you call them chains or belts. I use them interchangeably. I had a comment about that a few days ago. Sorry, but it's chain fed because it's a chain of things. So stop calling it. And then all you do is just kind of.
It's the Adventure Force Scorpion.
Thank you.
Rotating barrel. That's what they call
Rotating
it.
barrel.
Well, there's your rotating barrel. Because guess what? We've got a lot of rotating barrels now. From starting with what the Punisher way back. You got this, and then Nerf Titan CS50. But even though, and I'll say this, even though we've seen spinning barrels before, the Titan is huge. It is a big blaster, and I guess you have to with a 50-round double drum. What I did like about it is, and this is
The marketing?
the marketing for one, but I stand by the fact that I would have enjoyed seeing like a cradle to put a phone to use as an alien motion detector. And I know that can't happen, but maybe I'll just do something of my own. But it felt even more like a alien's minigun or smart gun than the
You all saw that. I was impressed.
smart gun than the what do you call it? The Mastodon. Oh yeah. So it was cool.
Oh, it has an on and off, but
Yeah.
it's kind of good. Yeah, it's doubles as a facial. Oh my god, you know how many people have touched this bastard too?
Probably.
I need a face wipe!
So actually, Sophie, why don't you tell us? Or are you willing to tell us about the interview you did at the end?
Oh, yeah,
The
that
Toy Fair guys that were talking to you? I leave for 5 minutes. Okay, it goes longer than 5 minutes. I leave for 10 minutes. I come back, she's got a full crew interviewing her, and she's got the mic, and she's talking on it. And I think the little postscript is even funnier, but go ahead. What can you tell
Well,
us
so
about
let me
that?
tell you something, first of all. These people got mad at me a little bit. So I'm wearing my new shirt, and they're like, what was your favorite part? I'm like, can I say the Hasbro showroom even though it's not here? And they're like, fine. They're like, what was your favorite toy growing up? I was like, well, it's my favorite toy now. And they're like, that's a dumb answer. What was your favorite childhood toy? And I'm like, Nerf blasters. And they're like, this freaking Hasbro stuck up person. I was like, come on. And then the outro was like, what was it? New York Toy Fair, like City of Fun or something.
Yes.
And I did that so well. I'm so good at my persona.
You were the best.
I was the best one of the day, so that means they have to put in all my Hasbro and Nerf commentary to get my outro, because it would be random if they just had my outro. But that was fun. I held the mic like a professional, and
Yeah.
he said, I lied. I made direct eye contact with him the whole time. I think I answered pretty well. You were
Yeah,
here.
definitely.
Try to use some big words.
Yeah.
Then what was the deal with the lady who walked up after you did?
She just wanted to hold the mic.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I literally asked to be interviewed though.
Yeah.
You didn't, right?
No, I
Or
didn't.
you did?
But I think
Oh,
I had
okay.
to ask. I don't think they were going up to people. Were they?
No, and they said, oh, thank God we're having such a hard time getting people who actually want to be on camera. So I was like,
They're definitely going to use you.
I was like, it's Nerf or nothing! I look like hypnotized. My eyes are spinning, like, no, it was cool. He asked me, like, who I was. I said, Sophie, Nerf or
Don't mind me. I'm just taking pictures and stills for the internets.
Anything else to add?
I don't know. How are we looking on time?
7:15 or 7:20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got
We
flight
asked
to
her, she can leave the state right now. I gotta stay, and he's gotta still deal with me for a little bit longer. So let's quickly go over the brands again. So
Yeah.
Zing, new bow, Hyper Strike, definitely check it out. When they have new axes, the Zax toys, and it's gonna be like one axe per kit. Don't have the prices. Make sure you check at foamfromabove.com, or maybe Sophie will put it up on her own channel at some point.
It's not Nerf.
It's not, but so if anything, I'll have prices there. But they have the new bow coming out. You have
Maybe I'll find
Far Out toys with the Drone Slayer kits.
I just love them.
Just the prototypes alone are really impressive. I like these. Top Secret Toys, check out their hover tech, because this little guy flew so well against the ceiling with the sensor and everything
Until we started recording.
until we started recording. So that was really cool. Big shout out to Dart Zone. Looking forward to the new product. We're sorry that it's just the development cycle. There's nothing that they can show us just yet. So stay tuned for this summer. Spitball Blasters. Glad that the product, after all this time, is finally ready. Looking forward to it. The shell ejection plus the water shooting.
There's two in there.
Can you give us your channel again?
NERF. ERS 101. Murphys 101 on Instagram.
Instagram.
You don't know who I am?
You will. And then let's see.
Nikki, talk about who you are too. Where are you from?
I'm from
Once
New
again.
York Guard Zone. You can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You'll probably see me there. I do reviews on a lot of these blasters from a bunch of different companies, and we'll try and keep you updated once new stuff comes out. And yeah, go subscribe to our channel.
Let's see. Who am I leaving off? Busby. They've got the new displays coming out. No, I talked about Zing. They got the axe, the Hyper Strike bow.
And
Player
Nerf.
versus player. Oh, and Zing's gonna have a mask coming out as well to add for the protective value. Nerf. They've got the new blasters. We've already seen what we can only talk about, and unfortunately, we didn't see that. What was it called? Legacy?
Yeah.
Legitimacy?
No.
Legacy.
Wasn't it the Tri-Strike? Is that something to do with 3? I thought.
Trilogy. That's it.
Yeah.
Neon Dragon said Zuru.
Oh yeah, Zuru. They've got the X-Shot Chaos line coming out
Ninja.
in fall, and Ninja. So watch for those. Again, going with those insane price points, and it's gonna be interesting to see what the final products look like. The loading on those was real interesting. Those use internal magazines for anyone who was worried, and yeah, the loading mechanisms are real interesting. Just gonna go with that.
Let me say one thing. Also, the spitballs. We already talked about that. And we also got some cool stuff from Marshmallow coming out. If you ever want to hit someone with a spitball, this is the way to do it. I'm not gonna lie. This is the coolest way I've ever shot someone with a spitball. I'm digging this. I'm gonna hit Gabe. Oh, right on the neck.
So spitball blasters. Once they finally get a retailer, I'm gonna keep in touch with those guys as well because they're awesome. Shout out to Mike and Jonathan. Hope to see you guys again soon. And Marshmallow, we don't have it here, and all they could give us was the more recent content. But they do have a large foam-tipped bow of their own coming out. It's gonna be like a full size. It's a full size. It's like a long bow, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's not a compound bow. It's a long bow, and it has your standard arrow shaft and then a foam tip. It comes with its own 3-arrow quiver or 3-arrow holder that's attached to the side of the bow. So that'll be interesting. I'm gonna keep tabs on that also to know when that's coming out. So let's see. We got Far Out Toys, Top Secret Toys, Zing, Nerf. Do you want to say anything about Nerf?
Keep it up, guys. I love you.
And yeah, I just wish we could have seen that trilogy.
Bunch of Busby too.
Yeah, and Busby. Those new blasters. I mean, you can say what you want about the long barrels, but you can shorten them if you want because they transform. That's their big feature this year, the transformation parts. And it's their pump action. They've got the new drum. It's just more consistent performances from them. So that's good. I'm really those come out and the final products on those as well. We have to be very careful about the prototypes because we didn't want to break anything, and because I hate to break stuff inside of a showroom, and I like to keep everything as I found it if I can help it. So.
Sorry, I got a flight to catch.
But we'll just leave it at that. If there's anything else, leave it in the comments. We'll get to it, and let's just hope our first Toy Fair Aftershock. Thank you for all for tuning in as best you could. I'll just leave it at that. You two want to say anything else?
Yeah, I do.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. It means so much to us. I hope you enjoyed everything that we showed you. We tried our best to get as many samples as we could for you, just show you guys everything. So yeah.
And I just want to say thank you to all the brands, especially Nerf, Nerf.
Thank you, Busby.
I'm just kidding, but yeah, Toy Fair was super fun, and check us all out on our own socials and channels. And any last minute questions? I always love to ask that.
Yeah.
Neon Dragon loved the stream, loves the balloons.
Thank you. I blew them up myself.
Yeah, I bought those. I went, got those. I blew them up. Yeah, that was all me.
I just watched them once.
101. Sophie did that.
I was very out of breath by the end of it, but
I just watched them work. I was fine.
The tea fell down. I didn't put up the
Stream
T.
these banners one by one, every triangle on there. Very
Did you
tedious,
really?
but yeah.
Wait, you made
I
that?
did it for you guys, yeah.
I've still got a few more.
I painted this on the wall.
I've still got a few more hours in New York, so feel free to questions, comments, concerns.
I have about 45 minutes left.
And yeah, I'll answer what I can, or if there's something you want me to follow up with tomorrow, I'm going to be sleeping overnight here in the zone, and it's going to be really awkward. So let y'all know, because I have no flight out right now. And I'll talk to you soon. All right,
And a huge shout out to Gabe, the owner of New York Dart Zone. Thank you for having us and hosting us here.
Woohoo! Yeah!
I love New York Dart Zone!
Dave, New York Dart Zone, come check us out, like on
Yes.
Facebook.
Come play here, especially May 6, 2021.
Oh yeah.
It's a big day. It's a big day.